Hello, I'm trying a new thing for myself, health and well-being, and taking a daily afternoon walk. One of my other internet friends named Kenny used to do a daily KJTV thing where he would walk and talk. So I'm going to do a little walk and talk today. And the topic on my mind is suffering and the reality of suffering throughout human history. So suffering's not new to our human condition and situation. And in our modern world, there's a prominent uh, belief in our pop culture that this world, this life that we have, is all that there is. And whether you want to call that scientific or secular humanist or materialist or agnostic or atheist, that the label doesn't matter because people don't care about labels anyways. Um, what do you do with the reality of suffering, especially as we're all experiencing this condition of suffering with the COVID-19 coronavirus global pandemic? And so it's got to be shaking us up inside, even if we don't acknowledge it. And I don't have a firm answer, but I will share a few thoughts from my perspective as a Christian follower of Christ. I'm not a particular brand of that myself, so I'm pretty fluid and flexible in how I live out my faith. But what I am discerning and trying to be a good listener on is, well, what would an agnostic person or ex-evangelical or progressive Christian or a sincere good person agnostic say about suffering? Maybe real simplistically, they might say it is just what it is. And yet, for people who have truly suffered beyond just this temporary couple of weeks, which might be a few months, that people with chronic conditions of suffering or diseases or dealing with cancer or other illnesses, that suffering is far more painful than just you can't just dismiss it as it is what it is. That there has to be something more that will help you get through it, be beyond the love and support of family and friends, because that doesn't answer a question for people who don't have family and friends, as important as family and friends are to get through seasons of suffering. And if indeed to be consistent with the understanding of the world that life is just a cosmic accident and we're just dust and nothing really matters because there's no afterlife, that's not a very comforting thought, for one. And for two, if that's really the case, then nothing matters right now in terms of what I do right now personally. If I hurt people or do whatever else, it's just a cosmic accident, or it just happened because I was scientifically and biologically conditioned and wired to do exactly what I do. There's a thing, I hope I'm not misquoting it, a scientific determinism, where we don't really have free will, whether you say that theologically or you say that scientifically. There's a notion, an idea that's starting to circulate about how we just do what we do and nothing really controls that. And yet, when people say they believe that, they will fight tooth and nail to protect themselves, whether self-preservation or to give into greed and try to get as much for themselves when it's supposed to not matter. So why be motivated to do that, right? So all that to say, just some of my ruminations there. I believe there's more than what we see in this world, in this life, in that there's something more transcendent. And I want to be sympathetic and express some empathy here that suffering is not a good thing. And what's going to get us through suffering is more than a pithy quote of "we're in this together." That there's something beyond just being in this together that's going to get us through. And I would like to suggest that what our Christian faith has to offer is that suffering produces good things. Suffering produces meaning. And psychologically, so this is not faith-based, but psychologically, it is the constructing of meaning that gets us into that healing journey of suffering. So for those of you that haven't yet suffered, this just, you're not going to be thinking about these questions of transcendence and meaning of life. You might just be too comfortable, and you happen to be in a situation where you're just comfortable. But as fear and anxiety and stress visits your life, or grief, which is certainly going to happen, either to you or someone you know, then it's going to raise those questions. And I hope that you would find the grace and the hope and the power. I pray that God will help all of us through this season of global pandemic, giving wisdom and insight beyond themselves to find the cure, find the vaccine, and defeat this illness that's plaguing our world. So thanks for watching. If you think I should create another daily DJ TV, add a reply, and then I'll create another one on another day. Thank you.